There were many questions entering the City of Langston's council meeting with the dealings of the Langston Police Chief and Deputy Chief. After the meeting, questions still remain with Langston citizens. Chief Jeffrey Jenkins and Deputy Paul Bush were suspended with pay when the city trustees returned from an executive session that lasted over an hour. A personnel hearing has been set for October 26 to determine the long-term result for both officers. Problems arrived last week when Chief Jenkins did not sign the Oklahoma Law Enforcement Telecommunications System, a database that officers utilize for confidential public safety information, including driving and vehicle records. Jenkins failed to sign the agreement, claiming his department was asked to agree to more than required under state law. In addition, Jenkins said the Langston Police had no communications with the Logan County Sheriff's Office, but Deputy Sheriff Rob Grossclose said that was not possible because OLEDS is not associated with dispatch. Langston Mayor Blaine Hines also pointed out that OLEDS does not involve the 911 service. Prior to going into executive session, the council voted unanimously 3-0 and agreed to the OLEDS agreement. Deputy Bush was arrested just last month in Lincoln County when he failed to appear in court for a speeding ticket back in 1995. According to KOKH Fox 25 in Oklahoma City, neither Jenkins or Bush have completed their certification from the Council of Law Enforcement Education and Training, but both have been granted extensions. Ted Poole, the Langston City Attorney now for 3 years, told Guthrie Newspage that the trustees will talk with both Jenkins and Bush as well as citizens before making a decision.
The agenda item was an executive session to address two officers, the Deputy Chief and the Chief. And as a result of the executive session, what Trustee Peterson just announced was that there will be a personnel hearing, and it will be an executive session like it was done in here. It has to be that. I mean, the law requires that, and it will be a thing that's done pursuant to a United States Supreme Court decision called the Loudermill case, Loudermil, or two L's. I don't remember if it's one or two L's. And that requires that notice be given to the two individuals, here the Deputy Chief and the Chief, as to what the concerns of the town are. And they will be allowed to present to the Board of Trustees their reasoning as to why that whatever it is that the town's concerns are not correct. If they can do that, then that's fine, and everything will be fine, and everybody will live happily ever after. If they can't do it, then there may or may not be some personnel action. I can't predict that at this point. That's the whole purpose of the personnel hearing, is to determine if there's a need for any personnel action as to these two individuals. And that will happen next Wednesday, is that right, the 26th? At 5:15 in this building. And it will, you guys can come, but you won't be able to be in on the hearing because by law it's got to be executive session, just like it was what we did in here today. We went back in a little room back there and talked about it. And the result of that discussion is what you just heard about the hearing that's going to happen on the 26th. And the law requires that you've got to, if you do this and you suspend them temporarily, you've got to give them pay and benefits, because there's nothing, you can't deprive somebody of their livelihood until you have a hearing, and that's what this is about. And they may or may not be deprived of their livelihood. So that's the whole idea.
That'll be